What is up, everyone? Welcome to No Life Digital. Today, got some interesting news coming out. So, we see Intel's new 10th generation Cascade Lake processors. They've basically cut their prices in half, which is nuts. Here over on videocards.com, we can see that last year's ninth generation Intel Core Skylake processors were about $100 a core, and this year's $57 a core, which is excellent. This is exactly the type of stuff that you want to see in the computer space because there's not many companies producing things. We have AMD, we have Nvidia, we have Intel, we have Samsung on memory side. What else do we have? There's only a few companies. So AMD is really pushing the boundaries in terms of value, and that's creating more competition between Intel and between Nvidia to kind of step their game up, but not only step their game up, but also lower their prices. And we can see that Intel had to lower their prices because of the latest AMD chips that are coming out. They're so value heavy, and they perform so goddamn well that Intel is really kind of stuck. They're stuck. They have to do this. They basically have to do this. There's no reason for them to not do this if they want to compete in this space. I'm curious to see exactly the final pricing for everything. I'm curious to see exactly where this is going to kind of lead to. I'm curious to see a lot of these benchmarks. Here on video cards, it says most cheaper but not cheap. The most important news is that Intel Core X series will be much cheaper than the previous generation. The cost of a single core will drop to AMD's level, and therefore it will be comparable to Threadripper 2000. The price per single core will drop to $54 to $59 US depending on the SKU, while the last generation was starting at $100 or $99 US. In terms of clocks here, we can see that in this article they're stating Intel is adding yet another clock called Deep Learning Boost. So that's on top of their already, I guess, Turbo Boost and Turbo Boost Max and their Velocity Boost. Now we have Deep Learning Boost, which I'm assuming is some sort of like machine learning thing that they have going on. We're going to see these chips come out in November. We have the 10980XE, the 10940XE, the 10920XE, the 10900XE, with the highest at 18 cores, 36 threads, base clock of 3.0 gigahertz, and the Turbo Boost 3.0 up to 4.8 with a 165 watt TDP, and that should come in around $1,000. So some competition is now entering back in. I still think that this is going to get very interesting because if we look at somewhat the similar AMD Threadripper chip, we have the Threadripper 2000. The most comparable one to the 10980XE would be the Threadripper 2950X, which is 16 cores, 32 threads. That goes up to 4.4, and that comes in at less than $900. So while AMD seems to still be lagging behind on the GPU side, the CPU side is really where things get interesting. And what's also interesting is that Microsoft had a press conference or a keynote recently where they talked about their new Surface products, and their latest Surface laptop has a 15-inch version, which is using a Ryzen chip inside. It's not using an Intel chip. And they said they did this because they wanted to squeak out some extra graphical performance. So they went with the Ryzen 7 3780U, and that also includes the Radeon Vega 11 graphics GPU. And that's also very interesting. Of course, you can still get the i7 Intel version, and there's only the i7 in the 13-inch model. But this is getting interesting because Intel has always, and they still kind of do, dominate the mobile market. You know, AMD chips were mainly just used in desktop PCs where people just wanted just like these extremely powerful rigs at the lowest price point possible. And now it seems to be that they're kind of catching up on the mobile front as well. I mean, Microsoft Surface Laptop 15-inch, a new one coming out, which is under $1,200. That's very, very interesting. This is kind of exactly what I wanted from Apple as well. I wanted to see an all AMD Ryzen Vega MacBook. I think that would be fucking phenomenal because they already are using AMD in most of their stuff. And I would love to see that CPU switch to happen in these MacBooks. Maybe the new 16-inch model might introduce that. Keep the prices low, give you massive performance. We already know the GPU architecture is based around it. So things are interesting. Things are very interesting. I love seeing this type of competition, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and also subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And also don't forget to head over to our website, nolife.digital. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.